Everybody's got advice about how to live with somebody, how to make a marriage work, how to raise children, how to keep the peace, how to share a bathroom without starting a war. There's a million books about that, entire television shows. You can't throw a rock without hitting some expert telling you how to live with another human being. But nobody, and I mean nobody, sits you down and teaches you how to live with yourself. And that's a problem. Because at some point, whether you plan for it or not, you're going to be alone. You might be alone right now, watching this, sitting in a room that's too quiet, wondering if this is what the rest of your life looks like. Or maybe you're not alone yet, but you're terrified of it. You saw your mother alone after your father died, or your uncle, or your neighbor, and you thought, God, that looks like a slow death. I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be. It can actually be, and I know this sounds crazy, the best chapter. Not despite the quiet, because of it. I live alone. I've lived alone before for a long stretch, and then I didn't, and now I do again. And both times, I had to learn how to do it, because living alone is a skill. It's not something that just happens to you like rain. It's something you build, like a house. And if you build it right, you don't want to leave. So let me give you 5 things. 5 things that changed everything for me. Not theories, not philosophy, things I actually do every day that turned solitude from something I survived into something I chose. The first one, and this is the foundation, you have to make your mornings sacred. I know. You've heard this before. Wake up early, have a routine, blah, blah, blah. But hear me out, because I don't mean it the way those productivity people mean it. I'm not talking about optimizing your morning, or journaling for 20 minutes, or drinking green juice while you meditate. I'm talking about something much simpler and much more important. When you live alone, the most dangerous moment of the day is when you open your eyes, that first minute, because there's no one rolling over to say good morning, no one making noise in the kitchen, no baby crying, no argument from last night carrying over. It's just silence. And your brain will try to fill that silence with every sad thing it can find. It's like a dog that brings you dead birds. Your brain, first thing in the morning, will drag in loneliness, regret, fear, whatever's lying around, and drop it at your feet like a gift. You cannot let it. You have to move before it catches you. Here's what I do. I've done this for years. My feet hit the floor, I put on my slippers, same pair, brown leather. I made them myself. And I walk to the kitchen. I fill the mocha pot, same one I've had since before most of you were born. The bottom part you fill with water. The little basket you pack with coffee, fine grind, packed firm, not too tight. You screw it together, put it on the flame, and you wait. Now here's the thing. While that coffee is coming up, and if you've ever used one of these, you know it takes a few minutes. I don't check my phone. I don't turn on the news. I don't think about what I need to do or what I didn't do. I just stand there. I listen to the pot. It makes this sound, this little gurgling, like it's talking to itself. And I smell the coffee before I taste it. And that moment, standing in my kitchen waiting, that is the holiest part of my day. I'm not exaggerating. It's holy. Because in that moment, I've decided something. I've decided that today exists, that I'm in it, that it belongs to me, not to my grief, not to my memories, not to whatever the world is doing outside my window, to me. If you live alone and you wake up checking your phone, scrolling through other people's lives, reading about other people's problems, you've already given your day away. You opened your eyes and immediately handed the morning to strangers. Take it back. The first 30 minutes belong to you, non-negotiable. Protect them like you'd protect a child. Whatever you do in those minutes, coffee, tea, a walk, stretching, looking out the window at absolutely nothing, do it the same way every day and do it slowly. My friend Tommy Ferrara, God rest him, he died in 2019. Tommy lived alone for the last 12 years of his life after his wife Diane moved to assisted living. And Tommy was a mess for the first year. Miserable. Drinking wine at noon, sleeping until 11, eating cereal out of the box. I told him, Tommy, you gotta make the morning mean something. He told me to mind my own business, which, fair enough. But 6 months later, he calls me and says, Sal, I started doing that thing. Every morning I make eggs. 2 eggs, scrambled, with peppers. I put them on a real plate. I sit at the table and I eat them like a person. He said, like a person. That killed me, because that's exactly what it is. When you live alone, you have to insist to yourself that you're still a person who deserves a real morning. Not a leftover morning. Not a morning that's just the gap between sleeping and dying. A real one. Tommy did that for the rest of his life. Every morning, 2 eggs, real plate, sitting down. And he told me it changed everything. Not because eggs are magic, because the act of caring for yourself, first thing, before anyone or anything asks you to care about them, that's the foundation. That's how you tell yourself, I'm still here. And here is worth being. Second thing, and this one surprised me, talk out loud. I'm serious. If you live alone and you go entire days without hearing your own voice, something happens to you. I can't explain it medically, but I can tell you what it feels like. It's like you start fading. You become a ghost in your own house. The walls get closer. The rooms get bigger. You feel less real. So talk. Talk to the pot on the stove. Talk to the bird outside the window. Talk to the shoes you're putting on. Talk to the news anchor on TV like he can hear you. Believe me, I do, especially when they say something stupid. I yell at that Jeopardy show 3-4 times a night. The answer is Constantinople, you dummy. Gloria, my wife, my second wife, she used to laugh at me for that. She'd be in the other room, and I'd hear her say, "Sal, they can't hear you." And I'd say, "I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to me." That's the truth of it. When you talk out loud, you're reminding yourself you exist. Your voice is proof of life. Don't let it go dormant. Now, some of you are thinking, that's crazy. That's what crazy people do. No, crazy is sitting in silence for 14 hours and then wondering why you feel disconnected from reality. Crazy is going 3 days without speaking a word and then being surprised when you can't hold a conversation at the grocery store. Talking to yourself isn't the symptom, it's the medicine. And I'll take it further. Sing. Sing in your kitchen. Sing badly. I sing, oh, you don't want to hear me sing, trust me. My voice could strip paint, but I do it anyway. Little Neapolitan songs my mother used to sing, some Sinatra, some stuff I heard on the radio in 1956 and never forgot. I sing while I cook. I sing while I clean a shoe. I sing while I water the plant on my windowsill. Her name is Margaret, the plant, named after Margaret Chen, who gave her to me when Gloria died. The point is, fill your house with your own sound. Don't wait for someone else to bring the noise. You are the noise. You are the life in that room. Act like it. And here's a practical thing, because I know some of you need practical. Call someone every day. Not text. Call. Hear a voice. Let them hear yours. I call my daughter Lucia every Sunday. That's our thing. That's sacred. But the other days, I rotate. Monday, I call my friend Vincent, Vinny DeLuca, 89, lives in Staten Island. We argue about baseball for 20 minutes and hang up happy. Wednesday, I call my granddaughter Sophia. She's busy. She's got 2 little ones, but she always picks up for me, even 5 minutes. Hi, Nono. The kids are screaming, I love you. Talk tomorrow. That's enough. That's more than enough. You don't need hour-long conversations. You need contact. Like touching a wall to make sure it's solid. Just reach out. Touch someone's voice. Let them touch yours. Every day. Not when you feel like it. Every day. Because the days you don't feel like it are the days you need it most. Third thing, and this one, if I could only tell you one thing, it might be this one. Feed yourself like somebody loves you. I stole that from a book, I think, but it's true. When you live alone, food is the first thing to go. Not food itself, you'll still eat, but the ceremony of it, the dignity. You stop cooking. You eat standing up. You eat over the sink. You eat cold leftovers out of the container and you tell yourself it doesn't matter because no one's watching. That right there, no one's watching. That's the most dangerous sentence in solitude. Because once you decide that things only matter when someone else sees them, you've lost. You've made yourself invisible to yourself. And a person who's invisible to themselves doesn't take care of themselves. They let the dishes pile up. They stop changing the sheets. They wear the same shirt 4 days in a row. Not because they're lazy, because they've stopped believing they're worth the effort. You are watching. You are the audience. And you deserve a meal at a table with a fork and a napkin. After Gloria passed, January it was, coldest month, felt even colder, I didn't cook for weeks. My daughter brought food. Neighbors brought food. Everyone brings food when someone dies. You know this. It's what people do because they don't know what else to do. And I ate it out of the containers, standing in the kitchen, not tasting anything. Then one evening, maybe February, maybe March, I don't remember exactly, I was standing in the kitchen again, eating cold ziti with my fingers like some kind of animal, and I caught my reflection in the window. The kitchen window, at night, it turned into a mirror, and I saw myself, old man, alone, eating with his hands in the dark. And I heard Gloria's voice, clear as a bell. Sal, what the hell are you doing? She would have been furious. Gloria set a table like she was hosting the Pope. Even when it was just the two of us, Tuesday night, nothing special, leftover chicken, she put out placemats, napkins, glasses of water with ice. I used to tease her, Gloria, it's Wednesday. We don't need the good glasses. And she'd say, every day you're alive is a good enough reason for the good glasses. So I started cooking again. Not big meals. I'm not making a feast for one. That's sad in a different way. But I make real food. Sunday is sauce day. I make a small pot of gravy, enough for 2-3 meals. I use it through the week. Tuesday, I might make chicken with lemon and rosemary, something simple. Thursday, soup. I vary it. The key is I set the table every single time. Placemat, napkin, fork and knife, glass of water. Even if it's just soup and bread. Even if it takes more time to set up than to eat. Because the setting of the table is the act of saying, this matters. I matter. This meal in this house for this one person, it matters. If you're living alone and you're eating over the sink, stop. Tonight, set the table. Sit down. Taste your food. Be a person at a table, not a shadow in a kitchen. Number 4, keep your hands in the world. What I mean by that is, don't retreat. When you live alone, there's a gravity that pulls you inward. The couch gets more comfortable. The door gets heavier. The idea of going outside, of dealing with people, of moving through a world that's designed for couples and families and groups, it starts to feel like too much. I understand that. I feel it too. Some mornings I look at the front door and I think, not today. But I go anyway, because solitude is healthy and isolation is poison, and the line between them is thinner than you think. I walk 4 blocks every day. Not fast. I'm not training for anything. But I walk down to the corner, past the bakery on 3rd, past the little park where the Dominican guys play chess, down to the water and back. Some days I stop and talk to people. Some days I just nod. It doesn't matter. What matters is I'm out. I'm in the world. I'm seeing faces, hearing sounds, feeling weather on my skin. And I do things with my hands. This is important. When you live alone, your mind will eat itself if you let it. Idle hands, idle mind. It's true. It's not just something they tell children. My hands have always saved me. When I was angry as a young man, I made shoes. When my first wife died and I thought the grief would swallow me whole, I made shoes. When my shop burned down and I had nothing, I rebuilt it with my hands. Now, I'm not saying you need to be a cobbler. I'm saying find something physical, something that uses your hands, your body, something where you can see the result. It could be gardening, painting, knitting, building model airplanes, fixing things around the house, cooking. There's another reason to cook, by the way. It's physical. You're chopping, stirring, kneading. Your hands are doing something besides scrolling. My neighbor Clara, 91, lives alone, sharp as a razor. She does jigsaw puzzles, big ones, 1,000 pieces. She always has one going on her dining table. I go over on Saturdays sometimes. We have coffee. I help her with the edges. She says it keeps her sane. When I'm doing the puzzle, she told me, I'm not thinking about being alone. I'm thinking about where the blue piece goes. That's it. That's the whole secret. Give your brain something to do besides inventory your sadness. And if you can, do something that puts you near people without requiring you to perform. That's the key phrase, without requiring you to perform. A coffee shop, a library, a park bench, a church service where you sit in the back and don't talk to anyone. You don't have to be social. You just have to be proximate. Humans need to be near other humans the way plants need to be near light. You don't have to photosynthesize, just be in the room. I go to the barber shop every other Thursday. Now, I don't have a lot of hair left, let's be honest. The barber, Marco, he could finish me in 8 minutes. but I sit there for an hour. I listen to the other men talk, the arguments about the Knicks, the complaining about their wives, the gossip. I don't always participate. Sometimes I just sit with my eyes half closed and let the sound of other people's lives wash over me. And when I leave, I feel recharged, not because I was the center of attention, because I was in the orbit of living. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Go somewhere tomorrow, doesn't matter where, a store, a park, a diner. Sit where there are people. You don't have to talk, just be there. Let the world remind you that it's still turning and you're still on it. And the fifth thing, the last one, this is the hard one. Make peace with the empty chair. In my kitchen, there are 2 chairs at the table. One is mine. The other one, that was Gloria's. Before Gloria, it was no one's for a long time. And before that long time, it was Anna Maria's, my first wife. 3 different women sat in that chair, if you count the emptiness as a kind of presence. And in a way, it is. The empty chair is the hardest part of living alone. Not the silence. You get used to silence. Not the logistics. You figure those out. The hardest part is the evidence. The other toothbrush holder that's empty. The side of the bed that's cold. The second chair. Some people say, get rid of it. Clear out the reminders. Move the furniture. Start fresh. And maybe that works for some people. I'm not going to tell you it's wrong, but I'll tell you what I did and why. I kept the chair. I didn't turn it into a shrine. I didn't set a place there or talk to it or pretend someone was sitting in it. I just let it be empty. And I made a kind of agreement with it. The agreement is, you remind me of what I had, and I'll remind you that I'm still here. Because grief and solitude are not the same thing. You can grieve inside a crowded room, and you can be at peace inside an empty one. The chair doesn't make me sad anymore. It used to. Oh, it used to. After Gloria, I couldn't look at it for months. I ate in the living room on the couch like a teenager. But slowly, I came back to the table. And now the chair is just a fact, a part of the room, a record of a life that had love in it. And here's what I want you to understand if you're living alone after losing someone. The emptiness you feel is not a sign that your life is empty. It's a sign that your life was full. The hole is shaped like the love that used to fill it. That's not a curse. That's evidence that you lived right. Some people are so afraid of that hole that they rush to fill it. They jump into relationships that don't fit, or they pack their calendar so full They never sit still. Or they numb themselves with drink or television or noise, anything to not feel the quiet. And I understand the impulse. I do. But running from emptiness doesn't fill it. It just makes you tired and empty. Sit with it. Let it be there. It won't kill you. I promise you, I am living proof. It will not kill you. It will hurt, and then it will hurt less. And then one day, you'll realize the emptiness has become spaciousness. The same room that felt like a cage starts to feel like a canvas. And you get to decide what goes on it. I'm 106 years old. I've been alive longer than most countries' tax codes. I've buried 2 wives, a sister, more friends than I can count, and a world that doesn't exist anymore. The Brooklyn I grew up in, gone. The shop I built, someone else's now. The people who knew me when I was young and stupid and full of fire, all gone. And I am not lonely. I am alone. There's a difference. Lonely is a wound. Alone is a room. And what you do with that room, that's up to you. I make my coffee. I talk to my plant, Margaret. I call Vinny and argue about whether the 61 Yankees could beat the 98 Yankees. I cook my food and set my table and eat like a human being who gives a damn about himself. I walk my 4 blocks. I sit in Marco's barber chair and soak up the noise. I work my hands on leather that doesn't need working, because my hands need it even if the leather doesn't. And I sit across from an empty chair and I'm grateful for every person who ever sat in it. That's a life. That's not surviving. That's living. And if you're watching this right now, alone, in a quiet room, wondering if this is all there is, listen to me. This is all there is. And it's enough. More than enough. But you have to build it. It won't happen by accident. Sacred mornings. Your own voice. Food that says, I love you. Hands in the world. Peace with the chair. 5 things. That's all it took. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's almost 3 o'clock. And if I don't water Margaret, she gives me this look. You know the look. Women are the same whether they're human or a fern. Go call someone. Not tomorrow. Now. Tell them you're thinking about them. Then hang up, make yourself something good to eat, and sit at the table like you mean it. You're going to be okay. I promise.